I'm always fascinated how life imitates business and business imitates life. And we're really the same people. So something that happens in a volunteer organization, it really happens in the business world too. It's just a small microcosm and it's fascinating to watch because it will teach you so much so quickly. My son had just joined Boy Scouts, and being an old camper and backpacker, no pun intended, I was very excited to get him, and he was going on his first backpacking trip. And as good scouts, they always want to be prepared. We had a packing session just before we left. And it turned out that the local retailer for all of the camping gear was having a sale at the time. And everyone was just abuzz at what an amazing sale it is and what a great deal it was and things like that. And everyone was mentioning these plastic bottles. Now, if you've done any backpacking or camping, you've probably run into these plastic bottles made by Nalgene. They're plastic with a cap which you can't lose, and they're waterproof. They're brilliant. They keep a liter of water generally and are pretty much ubiquitous. And every one of the guys who I was there with was saying, yeah, well, I went to this company and got 3 of them because they were on sale. And, they were $8. Can you imagine? Nalgene bottles for $8. That's amazing. I picked up 3 because they were just so cheap. And I thought about it for a minute. I'm like, well, yeah, that actually sounds like a pretty good number. I'm kind of surprised about that. So I went ahead and looked at how much the Nalgene bottles normally go for, which is $10. So they saved $2 a bottle. And average, the people I was talking to bought 2 to 3 bottles. Now, they already have a set, but there was such a good deal that they bought 2 to 3 more. Now, you can do 2 parts of argument here. Nalgene bottles don't go on sale very much. They're a ubiquitous system, so they probably do go on sale on a regular basis. But what I think was that they gave a number that seemed low to everything else. In other words, it was just a 20% discount. And there was a 20% on a lot of things, but for some reason they'd focused on and they'd made a little sign that says Nalgene bottles, $8. And all of a sudden that kicked in, and boy, $8. I was told you can't get a submarine sandwich for $8, but you can get a Nalgene bottle that you can use for years. They saw that as a really good deal. If someone just put 20% on, I don't think they would have sold as much. Why? Because you were forcing people to do math. Instead, you say regular $10, X, it's now $8. That's a great way of them seeing the value, and it's only 20%, as most of the other places in the store were as well. But this retailer had the idea to give them a number. This is a really good lesson for us. We talk a lot about percentages. We talk a lot about what percentage and a percentage off and things like that, but we don't talk about real dollars. The other thing we do is if we do talk about real dollars, we don't make it simple. It may be $7.43 because that was exactly X percentage off. This company came up and said, it's $8. Now, it wasn't exactly 20% off, but it was close enough. But $8 seemed like a really good deal. And so therefore, we need to really start thinking about how we're helping people understand not only the value of what we had, but also how that compares to other things and what that number really means. If you're doing a 30% off sale and you're coming out to $7.54, you're not helping them. Make it $8. Anyone who does the math, you can give them the other 20 cents off. Help people see that, have a round number so that they can hang on to it. Many times we get caught up in the percentages and the money and the process and things like that, and we miss that we're not talking to our customer in the right language. So drop it down. Give them the ability to understand what the value is and make it easy for them. The easier you make it, the less math and decisions you have to make, the greater sales you're going to make. Every time you quote a percentage instead of a dollar amount, you're forcing your prospect's brain to do math. The extra cognitive load is costing you thousands of sales and lost opportunities. Your prospects that don't dream about achieving 25% gains, they dream about adding $3.4 million to their bottom line. When we analyzed calls, we found that deals closed 3 times faster when savings were presented in dollar amounts rather than in percentages. So take a look at what you're presenting in your dollars. Take a look at what numbers are coming up. Are you just advertising percentages, or are you telling them that they're getting $8 off, $50 off, $100 off, $150 off? And it's only $24. Give them the ability to understand and not have to do the math. You can give them both numbers, they'll be happy about it. Absolutely show the value. And if you're doing any sort of discount, show that value. Now, there's a whole nother conversation about whether you should be doing some discounts. That's another conversation for another video. But in this conversation, if you're doing it, if you're doing a Black Friday sale, don't make them do the percentages. Make them see that the numbers look good. Make those numbers look good. Make them slightly bigger. Make them slightly smaller so that they round off so that you're not having to do math or think about it. What I'd love you to do is I'd love you to take a look at the numbers that you're displaying to your customers. Are you making it simple? Is it simple numbers that they understand? Or are they unique numbers because someone in the finance department did the math exactly? If they are, I'd encourage you to change it. I'd also do some split testing to see which works better. Every market is slightly different. Every market has certain numbers that work really well and certain numbers that don't. Split test those numbers. Round numbers and even numbers may work better than odd numbers. It is market dependent, but doing that research will actually help people say yes because they don't have to do one more thought. They don't have to do one more thing to think about. They can see the value, they can see where it is, and they go ahead. Think about that little Nalgene bottle that they sold 3 times as many just because they rounded the price and made it so everyone got excited about it. No one had to do some math. So give me an example of something that you've seen lately that has worked or hasn't worked in the comments below, and let's continue this conversation. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Want to transform your business with expert strategies? Schedule your strategy session today by clicking the link in the description below. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Ventured Gain. See you in the next video.